the journals, art projects, organized planner chic.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Organized Planner Chic. I'm Lucinda, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do so and select the bell for notifications. Well, first, I want to thank all my Patreon members who help make it possible to create videos like this. Well, thank you guys so much. And if you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, just go to patreon.com/organizedplannerchic. Okay, you guys, this is part 2 for my dailies. What is it called? December Dailies. Part 2 for December Dailies. We're going to go through and I'll show you what I added to my previous pages that I created in the last video and the things that I wrote about on those pages, and then we're going to set up the next 7 pages. All right, let's get to it. Okay, you guys, let's look at what's happened since last time. This is the Traveler's Notebook that I'm using, and I went into a little bit more detail about it in the first video, and I made this in my Etsy shop, and it is available for purchase with other fabric options as well. And I'm loving the B6 size. I'm so glad I decided to do that. It is just really working for me. It's the perfect amount of space for me to work in here daily without feeling overwhelmed by an A5 page spread for this particular time of the year, where I don't have to try to figure out how am I going to fill up all this space depending on what happened on that particular day related to the holidays and so forth. So yeah, here's just a look again at what it looks like in the front, and I had set that up before I started the dailies. And then we're going to look at what I did on the previous pages for what I wrote. So yes, you guys remember I set this up in the first one. And on the first, that was the Sunday, we had an awesome message from the book of Malachi. That's what we're studying, which is perfect because it's the last book in the Old Testament before the Gospels in the New Testament, which talk about the birth of Christ. So yeah, and then I donated, or in exchange for $10 for the youth program, I got these sets of paper ornaments for following a set of messages that lead up to Christmas. And so I'll be coloring those in, and I'll share those with you guys in a future video as well. So that's what happened on the first. Here on the left is just my Christmas gift list, which is a printable that's available in my Organized Planner Chic Etsy shop. And what I have on there right now are all of the DIYs that I'm doing for Christmas gifts this year. And then on the second, let's see what happened on the second. Oh, I published my annual, is my second annual Christmas home decor tour, which is definitely a different type of video for my channel, but I did one last year and I love Christmas so much that I wanted to make it an annual tradition. So that's primarily what I did on the second, is got it all edited and uploaded, and you can see I doodled on there a Christmas ornament as well, which was not in the previous video, and I did that on all of the pages going forward from last week. And then on the third, what is this? This is the third. Oh, I didn't feel very well at all. I'm trying to look at the screen to remember what I wrote. So that's why I'm leaning over if the sound sounds different. So I didn't feel well at all on the third. I really felt sick. So I got some work done, but not near as much. And, which is a bummer over the holidays, the Christmas season. And then on the 4th, I felt better, but I was still not feeling great. But I did still get some stuff done, and I postponed it. I postponed on YouTube because I was setting up my 2020 bullet journal, which wraps up the holiday season and gets you started for the new year, but I wasn't able to get it all done. I didn't want to rush. I wanted to do a good job, so I did post a note on YouTube that it would be late. And then on the 5th, which is actually today, I felt way better, and I actually walked to the post office which is a good distance from here, but I felt so good and the weather was perfect. And everybody was starting to mail packages for Christmas. And then I stopped at the 99-cent store also, and it was full of people buying Christmas stuff. And then, the 6th and the 7th haven't happened. Well, today is the 6th. So I haven't written anything on there yet. And of course, the 7th hasn't happened yet. So now we're going to go ahead and set up for the next week, and I'm just pulling out all of my goodies I had already cut up previously. The numbers, as you see there, were from the same paper pad that I used in the previous video. I'll be using that for the whole month, which I bought from Michael's, or several different paper pads you'll see in here. And so for the most part, I'm just going to let you guys watch and see how I laid things out and what paper choices I made and how the layouts turned out, and let you enjoy the music. So it won't be boring. I'm just telling you what you're watching me do on the screen. And then I'll pop in and share a little bit if it's applicable as things go on. All right. So here I wanted to share that I think I mentioned this in the first video, but the best way to me to use a glue stick or any type of glue and not get it everywhere and not have things sticking to itself and paper sticking to each other and not have a mess everywhere, and to make sure that you get all of the corners whenever you're gluing, because when you don't get those corners and those edges, then it doesn't lay down properly. The best way for me to do all of that is to use a cutting board. And that one was one of the bigger ones that I have. I think in the previous video I used a smaller one, but the smaller one I got just for $1 at Dollar Tree, and the bigger one, which is kind of a medium size one, I got from Walmart for I think $2. And so they're perfect to do that. So you can see how I can get all around the edges and the corners, and everything works perfectly that way. And then of course I use my bone folder because it helps me make sure that I smooth those edges down really well. And I'm just loving how this paper looks. I love Christmas paper. Oh my goodness, it's just the best. Okay, now I was kind of struggling with what paper I wanted to use on this one, but I decided that this would work. I just needed to rip the edges a little bit more so it would fit on the page, because some of the numbers, like this 11 here, are big and they take up more space than I would like, but I have enough of a sort of blank canvas with this that it works. Now sometimes you want things to work together that just don't. And maybe it would have, because you'll see here as we come along that I did experiment. But yeah, so I was just kind of messing with a few of those little strips to see which ones made me happy. They all really probably would have worked fine, but I just wasn't happy. So I kept looking through them until I found what I thought worked for me. So here is where some of that experimentation came in, because we've got all this red and green and then there's pink. And I thought, I think I can make this work if I have two things on opposite sides that have the red and green, that the pink could be in the middle and it would work. And then you'll see on the other side I used pink in the middle as well, and I think it worked all together. At least I was happy with the way that it turned out. Do you guys, let me know in the comments below, do you just kind of go for it sometimes? Or do you feel like you worry more about how someone else might do it or how someone else might think if they see what you've done? Let me know. Do you kind of step out of the box sometimes and just do what you feel makes you happy when you're doing crafting? So on this one, this piece was just too big because I didn't have that much space really to write to begin with, so I just trimmed it, made it work. And that is it, you guys. So here are the pages going forward for the next week. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. All of my subscribers get an additional discount from my Organized Planner Chic Etsy shop, and that discount is in the description below. And in my shop, I make vegan traveler's notebooks and traveler's notebook accessories for all TNs, vegan or not. I also make bullet journal title page art for the different months, and I make printable stickers and journaling cards. And I also made a free Hobonichi printable, so you can make a fake Hobonichi, and that's available in my shop as well. If you are interested in following me on Instagram, just go to @OrganizedPlannerChic. And then I have 2 Facebook groups. The one that's for anyone around the world is called Organized Planner Chic Crew, and there we do frequent giveaways and gift exchanges. And then my local group is called Phoenix Planner Friends for Christ, and we meet once a month in person to have lots of planner fun. And then if you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, just go to patreon.com/organizedplannerchic. And until next time, happy planning!